Hey guys, welcome to Sup Sasha Spice. My name is Sup Sasha and today you and me are gonna make something very exciting. In the last video, we learned how to make fresh fettuccine pasta, and today we're gonna make chicken stroganoff with fettuccine pasta. So let's go for it. So guys, in this recipe, today we are gonna make the stroganoff with the stock and cream based sauce and not just cream sauce. It's just because when you invite your loved ones and you make a bigger batch of chicken stroganoff, you don't want it to go dry on the table after 30 minutes of you serving the food on the table. So let's learn how to make this sauce, which has a beautiful consistency and is still saucy for a long time even after you have served it to your loved ones.
So first thing we're going to do is quickly chop up our shallots, fine chop the shallots. Next we're going to fine chop our garlic. I've got some peeled garlic here. Next we're going to slice up or julienne up the red pepper. So now we're going to chop up the sage. We've got some nice fresh sage leaves. We don't need a lot because this herb is a very strong flavored herb, so we will just be needing half a teaspoon of sage in this recipe. And here guys, we have some nice flat leaf parsley in this recipe. I'm going to use flat leaf parsley. You can see how beautiful the leaves are. I like to use flat leaf parsley in all my recipes. It's just because flat leaf parsley has very enhanced flavor and it greatly improves the taste of most of the food that we cook with it. As I cut the parsley, it smells really good. So now we have taken a hot pan. In a hot pan, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of butter and let it melt. I'm going to slightly brown the butter because the brown butter imparts a beautiful flavor to the eventual stroganoff that we're going to make, and it also gives a beautiful color to the stroganoff sauce. So into this brown butter I've added the shallots and I'm going to saute it nicely. So now our shallots are nice and translucent. I added 2 tablespoons of shallots into this, and next I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flour into the shallots and butter mixture. 2 cups of thick chicken stock into flour butter mixture. We're going to now start whisking the sauce so that all the flour and butter mixture dissolves into the sauce. As the sauce simmers, I'm going to add 1 cup of sour cream to this and whisk it well. So I'm whisking the sour cream into the sauce now. Our sauce has started to get a nice rapid boil, and I'm going to add half a cup of heavy cream into this. Sauce is beginning to get a rapid boil and we're going to let it reduce by 1/4 so that the sauce thickens up. So now our sauce has reduced by 1/4, and I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of freshly grated Parmesan cheese into the sauce and continue to whisk. I've got 7 chicken breasts over here, and this recipe can easily feed 6 to 7 people. And now I'm going to start cutting it into strips. I've transferred the chicken into a bowl, and now I'm going to add a tablespoon of cornstarch to it, some water, and now I'm going to mix it all together very nicely. Now we're going to start making our final stroganoff. So for this, into a hot pan I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of oil. Into the hot oil, now I'm going to put all the chicken strips that we had cut earlier and marinated in cornstarch. As the chicken is frying, I'm going to put some freshly cracked black pepper into this. And then season the chicken with half a teaspoon of salt. You can see that the chicken is beginning to get a nice brown color. And now we are going to quickly flip the sides so that there is a beautiful brown color on either sides. But we are not going to cook it completely. We just want a nice brown color on either sides. You can see that there is a beautiful color on either sides of the chicken. I haven't cooked the chicken completely. The chicken is partly cooked. It's still raw inside. And now I'm going to take the chicken out of the pan and keep it aside while I saute the rest of the ingredients in a fresh clean pan. Into a hot pan, I've put a tablespoon of butter. And as the butter melts and gets hot, I'm going to add freshly sliced cremini mushrooms. I have used a total of 2 cups of cremini mushrooms, and we will continue to saute the mushrooms. The mushrooms are beginning to sweat beautifully, and into this now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of freshly chopped garlic, 1.5 teaspoons of paprika. Do not cook the paprika for too long as it gets burnt. And now into this we put 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, and we're going to saute it. And finally we're going to add our freshly chopped sage into this mixture and continue to saute well. I'm already beginning to get all the beautiful aromas, and now into this I'm going to add a cup of cherry wine or red cooking wine, and I'm going to let it reduce by half. This is also a process of deglazing. Our wine has already reduced by half, and now into this I'm going to put 3 teaspoons of Dijon mustard and mix it well and continue to cook. Into this now I'm going to put the previously half-cooked chicken which I had reserved, and I'm going to mix it all together. The chicken is beautifully cooking in this thick concoction, and it's getting a beautiful glaze. As the chicken cooks, it gets a beautiful aroma, the flavors intensify, and like I said, you can see it's also beginning to get an amazing glaze. Now we're going to put 100 grams of julienne peppers into this and mix it well. As the chicken continues to cook beautifully, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of salt to it to season it well. Add some more freshly cracked black pepper into this. Add 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce into this. And now finally we are going to add the stroganoff sauce which we had made separately into this mixture. We are going to stir it and mix it well. Add 4 more tablespoons of freshly grated Parmesan cheese. The chicken has cooked beautifully, and I've reduced the sauce by 1/4, so the sauce has thickened up nicely. And now into this I'm going to put freshly chopped flat parsley. Into a hot pan, 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and I put the green peas into it, slightly saute it. I don't want to cook it too much. Finally garnish with some cherry tomatoes which I've tossed in olive oil, parsley and salt.